Joining us now is Time Magazine contributor Ana Marie Cox. She traveled with the McCain campaign, and she is still in Phoenix, Arizona, apparently unaware the campaign is over. Ana Marie, thank you for joining us.
Someone needs to turn off my BlackBerry, I guess.
Do you need a ride home?
No, I think I'll get home just fine. I decided to stay an extra day to get away from the campaign. They've already left. I spent the day mostly by the pool, but also writing, and also wondering where my email was. I mean, I'm so used to getting hundreds and hundreds of emails a day. It's very strange to turn on my phone and find that nothing new has happened in the past 3 hours, or at least nothing new that someone at the DNC headquarters wants to tell me about.
Well, it sounds like if you were writing a hit piece on Sarah Palin, you'd be getting plenty of Republican email. I thought the long knives for Palin were kind of incredible before the election, but they seem to have gotten longer ever since. Why do you think Republicans are more out to get her now than they were before?
Well, let's put it this way. I think that if I were working on the McCain campaign and I had a Sarah Palin to blame everything on, and rather than my own mistakes, I think I'd probably be talking about Sarah Palin. The thing is, the McCain campaign did plenty of things wrong. I mean, I think that Sarah Palin is in many ways, if you'll pardon the pun, the most attractive target for a lot of staffers. But that allows them to excuse some of the many other mistakes that people made. And also, I have to say that I think the people that are coming after Sarah Palin right now, it is a sign of a fundamental weakness in the campaign in general. In part because they are not helping John McCain, they are not helping the Republican Party by making these attacks. They are basically only helping themselves. And I don't think that bodes well for the future of the party.
Unless they believe that Sarah Palin rising to a position of national prominence in the Republican Party would be really bad for the Republican Party. I wonder if there's some sense in which people worry that she would be a dangerous person in a position of Republican power.
I think that's an excellent point, and don't you think if they really believe that, someone should have pointed out when she was on her way to becoming vice president?
Yeah.
I think, I think maybe if you were really concerned about looks like pretty much the ignorance of someone who was going to be potentially president, you wouldn't wait till after the election to point it out to people. You would raise a concern right then and there. I think it's very ironic that one of the only things that the McCain campaign was able to be disciplined about during the entire campaign was the selection of Sarah Palin. They kept that secret for a very long time, kept a very, very tight lid on it. And now it turns out, you know what, maybe that's something that should have been leaked, because it looks like they might have gotten some informative feedback from within their own campaign about what a disastrous choice she might have been.
We're also,
or she was, actually.
Well, we're also left with the realization that there are some people who were very close to John McCain, other than Sarah Palin, who were sort of disloyal to John McCain. I mean, the split from within McCain's campaign to a McCain faction and a Palin faction, with them narking each other out to the press. I mean, that makes us think about John McCain and the way that he conducts himself as a politician in a way that doesn't sort of match the myth that we all believed about him and his loyal cadre of people who would die for him.
Right. I think that you have to remember, looking at this, that the Sarah Palin staff that came on with her was not filled with especially loyal McCain people. A lot of the people that came on to help with Sarah Palin, including Nicole Wallace, who, although personally pretty loyal to McCain, are former Bushies. And I think that there did sort of erupt a split between the Palin campaign and the McCain campaign, in part just because they didn't come from the same, they didn't have the same background, and it turns out they might not have had the same goals either.
There's all this talk now about the future of the Republican Party and conservatism. There's this big confab happening at Brent Bozell's place tonight where they're all talking about what to do next. And a lot of the talk is focusing on Palin and what will happen to her. But what about poor old John McCain? I mean, how does he fit into the recalibration, the new post-Obama Republican Party?
In some ways, ironically, I think he's actually very well situated to be an important part of the government moving forward, because the thing is John McCain, and I know you may disagree with me on this, Rachel, he's actually not very ideological. He's very much a problem solver. He's very much someone who can be very pragmatic about things. That's a problem for him. That's a problem that Palin was brought on to solve, because she is ideological. And I think that going forward, John McCain personally is probably very interested in making a difference on some of the things where he and Obama overlap. I could see him doing very well with environmental legislation, more torture legislation, border security, or I should say immigration immigration reform. So I think in some ways John McCain is actually a really good, going to be right there in the limelight for the future of the Republican Party. But here's the thing. John McCain is not a good leader for that party. It's one of the things we saw in him as a candidate leading up to this. He's not really a party guy. He prefers to be someone who stirs things up, someone who speaks back to power. At least that's the John McCain we know and love, right? Originally, the John McCain we liked was a gadfly, not a leader.
Yeah, I guess they'll probably put up a sign that says, "Help wanted, John McCain 2000 model need only apply," something like that.
That's right.
Ana Marie Cox, Time Magazine contributor, thanks for being here tonight. Enjoy your time at the pool.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.